Is there any theory about the moon itself and the mysterious herd? In this video, we'll discuss what we've known about the film, including exploring the true science of the moon and the lunar conspiracy theory that inspired Emmerich's story, so watch this video until the end and make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Moonfall, the latest in Roland Emmerich's huge filmography of science fiction and catastrophe films, will be released in theaters next month. Stargate, Independence Day, Godzilla 1998, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, and more films have been directed by him. Recently, comicbook.com got the opportunity to speak with Emmerich about Moonfall, and we asked him what drives him to such epic, world-changing storylines. In Moonfall, an unknown force pushes the moon out of its orbit around Earth, sending it hurtling towards life as we know it. With only weeks until impact and the world on the verge of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler, Academy Award winner Halle Berry, believes she has the key to saving us all. But only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, Patrick Wilson from Midway, and conspiracy theorist Casey Houseman, John Bradley, Game of Thrones, believe her. These unlikely heroes will go on a difficult last-ditch space trip, leaving behind everyone they care about, only to discover that our moon is not what we believe it is. A sci-fi filmmaker and director of movies like Godzilla, Independence Day, and Stargate, Roland Emmerich returns to the big screen with the latest sci-fi disaster movie, Moonfall. The script was written by Roland Emmerich and his 2012 co-authors, Harold Closer and Spencer Cohen. With a budget of $140 million, this movie is one of the most expensive indie films to date. So, what is Moonfall about? The official overview of Lionsgate Pictures, Moonfall states, "In Moonfall, a mysterious force knocks the moon out of orbit around the Earth, and as we know it, takes it to a course of collision with life. Just weeks before the impact, the world is in danger of extinction. On the verge, NASA executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler, Halle Berry, is convinced that she has the key to saving us all. These improbable heroes embark on an impossible mission to space, leaving behind everyone they love, but find that our moon is not what we think." Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson will play the roles of the two astronauts, and John Bradley will play the conspiracy theorist. The film also features Michael Pena, Charlie Plummer, Kelly Yu, and Donald Sutherland. The moon is a celestial body that has long influenced society and culture throughout history, fascinating and capturing the imagination. The moon is the only satellite on Earth. It is also the largest satellite in the solar system compared to the size of the planet. The effects of lunar gravity are the cause of Earth's tides, which can be devastating if knocked out of orbit, not only to the Earth's oceans, but also to its man-made structures. The massive storm surge caused by the fall of the moon can be seen in the trailer footage, which Emmerich explained in an interview with Vanity Fair. "You'll end up in the Rockies." It's also his trademark to look at the famous buildings in place that don't belong to. In addition to the actual results, such an event will lead Roland Emmerich to continue to be inspired by his latest sci-fi thriller myths and conspiracy theories. Since the moon is well connected to the Earth, the length of a full rotation of its own axis results in the same side of the moon always facing the planet. As such, what has been coined the dark side of the moon has long sparked the imagination of science fiction writers, such as Emmerich. In a promotional poster that was released for the film, it said, "In 2022, humanity will face the dark side of the moon." In the trailer footage released so far, a dark, swarm-like entity is featured. This movie seems to be a fusion of some common ideas that come from the science fiction genre. Indeed, filmers have extensive experience dealing with extraterrestrial life forms. Previously, Emmerich worked on Stargate, whose story was based on the theory of aliens creating all civilizations. 2012 was based on the Mayan calendar's prediction that the end of the world would come December 22nd of that year, and Independence Day featured Area 51 alien conspiracy elements prominently. Similarly, Emmerich's Moonfall is based on many conspiracy theories, including NASA and the moon, but with a unique twist. NASA was happy to help make the film, but at Moonfall, the organization and its mysteries are at the heart of the story. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, where the filmmaker summarizes the latest trailer, he said, "During this time, they saw light emanating from the surface of the moon. It was then that I first noticed the moon was hollow. NASA hides things at a very high level, because even the adjutant doesn't know," says Emmerich. Regarding the inspiration for Hollow Moon itself, Emmerich said in an interview with Empire in the February 2022 issue of the magazine, "Reading conspiracy theories are a bit of me," Emmerich said in a conversation with Empire in the February 2022 edition. magazine, 3 theories were presented in the book: who built the moon of Christopher Knight and Alan Butler. But they weren't all that I was thinking, so My Theory was created. In this book, it is theorized by the author that future humanity went back in time to artificially build the moon. Emmerich seems to have adopted some of the particular theories that inspired him most. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, he also explains the concept that the moon is not a natural satellite we think of, but a satellite that was actually created. Slogan quote, "Some people believe that megastructure is a shell around a star," says Emmerich, "a huge structure like a cage around a captured star." His formulation is certainly intriguing to me. Is the moon a cage for a mysterious black herd from a caravan, not just a megastructure? Later, when asked about the gravitational waves seen in the trailer, it's even worse because there is something in the moon hiding his gravity. That's why it's really crazy. The hollow moon concept isn't new to the science fiction genre. H.G. Wells wrote about this concept in his 1901 book, The First Man of the Moon, but there are also his early literary works that include this concept. Emmerich made a film based on this theory, adding his own twist to get the moon out of orbit with what is called nanoswarm artificial intelligence, and then discover that the moon is not what we think it is. Is it this intellectual being or its intended cage home? Is that the reason for the effects of Earth's gravity? Is it still unclear if the herd is actually the same as the one that hides its gravity? People tend to think that the story has more than the flock itself. If it's actually an AI entity, something must have created it. In an interview with Deadline last year, Harold Closer revealed that Moonfall was written as the beginning of a story that opens the door to an epic adventure. Therefore, this story is intended to go beyond this movie. What's coming next for Moonfall? Emmerich also said that to the Empire, when asked about the next chapter of the teased Moonfall story, it all depends on the success of this movie, but the next 2 parts are the moon about. It turns out that our moon is not what we think, and a bigger story begins. This movie was created with the intention of starting a trilogy. I was surprised to know that. The story of Moonfall goes on and how it establishes a large story. The last-ditch space mission was launched with the goal of saving the moon and Earth, but is it even possible for our hero to succeed? As Emmerich said, the last 2 parts are about the moon. How do these events and the aftermath of large-scale revelation affect humanity and life as we know it? Moonfall appears to be this year's first big blockbuster. It feels like it's going to be this year's biggest blockbuster, which means moviegoers can start getting excited about visiting cinemas a bit sooner than normal, and more teasers and promotional material will be released shortly. The new teaser that recently dropped begins with conspiracy theorist Casey Houseman, Bradley, discovering that the moon has fallen out of orbit. Houseman joins forces with an astronaut with a past, Wilson, to alert NASA. We then meet NASA executive Joe Fowler, Barry, who understands that artificial intelligence is at work, and spectators are shown a creature that resembles black sticky slime before being shown the trip that these 3 people take together to preserve mankind. I know I am so looking forward to seeing Moonfall when it will appear in theaters and IMAX on February 4th, 2022. But I want to know what you think of Roland Emmerich's latest film and the sci-fi and theory on which it's based. Are you looking forward to Moonfall? Is there any theory about the moon itself and the mysterious herd? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.